What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy, Zaire. I got a screen with my daughter, and I'm back with another video. Today's video, I'm dedicating this to all my PlayStation subscribers. To J Limbo 09, you bum ass nigga. This goes out to say, to a lot of you guys who are subscribed to me and are more or less Sony PlayStation fans. I have some PlayStation 4 news fresh off the press. Now, mind you, Icy Ridley didn't bring you this. The Rich Review Tech USA didn't bring you this. The Gun Shop didn't bring you this. Zaire 720 brought you this. Even Shoke, your ugly ass, didn't bring you this, huh? Zaire 720 brought you this. Even the 10 Ultra, little Daffy Duck face looking ass, he ain't bring you this. Zaire 720 brought you this. Now, with that being said, I'm not gonna read the whole article. I will post a link in the description, but I will read the most important things. First thing here, they said the console does not mean PS4. We're learning now that number 4 in Japan means death, bad luck, or something. They don't even have elevators to go to the 4th floor. They call it something else. So, what the system is behind closed doors being called Orbis. Secondly, really important, pay attention. They said the first generation games will look like high-end PC demos, such as, they said, Watch Dogs and Star Wars 1313. Pause. Now, if you guys that have been stuck to me from the beginning on my first YouTube channel, Zaire 2005, I said then that Star Wars 1313 and Watch Dogs were next generation titles. But none of you guys, you don't know what you're talking about? Yes. I said before, I read an article that publishers have their hands on next generation hardware, and they're making games that they wanted to show at E3, but Microsoft and Sony decided not to show their next generation consoles, probably because, they don't want to kill their holiday sales of their current gen systems. And what Nintendo showed at E3 this year, we all know, whether you're a Nintendo fan or not, we all know that E3 presentation was dog shit. No, it wasn't even dog shit, it was cat shit. So that's another reason probably why they didn't show their next generation systems or talk about it, mention anything. So they were saying that, like I said before, that their next generation games, their first generation games on the PlayStation Orbis will look like Star Wars 1313 and Watch Dogs. Like I said, you think about it. Look at your launch games for the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Compared to now, they look like shit. If you take, what was the launch game? Take Condemn. Condemn was a pretty good game, though. And compare the graphics of that to Halo 4. Night and day. If you take, give me a game, Heavenly Sword, which is a good game, and compare it to Uncharted 3, which is later in the console's life, which the developers learn how to get more juice and power out of their hardware, you know what I mean? So they telling me right now, off the bat, that the first group of games that comes out of the PlayStation Orbis is going to be, like Star Wars 1313 and, I think Ubisoft is making Watch Dogs, and they're going to look and play just like that. Yeah, sign me up. Guys, do me a favor. I want you guys, if you guys don't know, here on YouTube, put in the title Star Wars 1313. That shit looks amazing. You know what I mean? They tell me my games will look and play just like that. Like I said before, I said here that developers have their hands on next generation hardware, but they want to show their games at E3, but Microsoft and Sony said no. And I said before, if you look at this, they showed Star Wars 1313 and they showed Watch Dogs, but they did not say what systems these games were coming out on. Another hint, you know what I mean? Also, this is not a bad news, but like I said before, the PlayStation 4 will not run games in 4K Ultra HD resolution. I repeat, the PS Orbis will not play games in 4K Ultra, but it will display movies in 4K resolution. So if you're looking to get your hands on an affordable, again, 4K Blu-ray player, but you need a television, the PS Orbis will display movies in 4K resolution, but you will not be able to play games in 4K resolution. Also, again, the PS4 Orbis will not recognize used games, or whatever the case may be, so they're getting away from the used game thing. Also, the memory, which is not important, but the memory, the PS Orbis, whatever the PlayStation Orbis is looking to have 4 gigabytes of RAM, but they're saying if the Microsoft goes with 8 gigabytes of RAM, then Sony will follow suit also, not to be outdone. You remember there was that leak, article, rumors from that from the Xbox magazine, which is going out of print. They released some of the Xbox 720 specs, and I believe they're going to release some more next month. They said that the Xbox 720 has 8 gigabytes of RAM. You know what I mean? So same thing with Sony. Their next generation console is going to have at least, at minimum, 4 gigabytes of RAM. And if Microsoft goes with 8 gigabytes of RAM, Sony is following suit. And also it's going to have on board 16 gigabytes of flash memory. You know what I mean? And it's saying bad news again. Well, it's not to me because I don't buy new systems to play old software, but the PlayStation 4 would not be backwards compatible with PlayStation 3, 2, or 1 games. Also, but you would be able to, they said, stream or download, whatever the case may be, stream their classic games over the cloud-based thing. So you may play, like, I guess, Metal Gear or God of War. You'll be able to play those or stream those over the cloud of the car. Also, like Sony's taking a page from Microsoft books here. They said that each PlayStation Orbis will ship with PlayStation Move and a camera, but a better high-resolution camera. I read an article before that Sony patented some type of Kinect type camera for their next generation console. So it looks like they're all there. I'm sorry, not all there. Their next generation console is indeed going to ship with the PlayStation Move and camera. I guess Sony's not getting away from motion control gaming. Also here, it's not important, but it is important. Sony's getting away from the cell. They said they're going to use their AMD SoC processor, which is 4 cores. The chip carries the code named Liverpool, and it's produced in 28 nanometers process, whatever the hell that means. So it's going to be 4 cores and carries the code named Liverpool. Very important, the price. They're saying the PS4 will cost around 400 to 500 euros. And I know is more money than, you know, American money, but it looks like the cost between 400 and 500 euro in Europe. So I said before, so they said the PlayStation 4 Orbis is going to cost about 450 American dollars, which I do not mind paying, especially if they're going to tell me that the first generation game is going to look as good as Star Wars 1313. Should sign me up. I paid $600 for the PS3, which didn't even do 1080i. So at the time of the PlayStation 3 launch, it downgraded the signal of, because it didn't do 1080i. Jesus, I'm shooting a video here. No, it didn't do. Like I said before, 1080i. It would downgrade the signal to 480p. You know, that was before their update. You know what I mean? So like I said, I don't mind paying $450 for this shit. I paid $600 for the PS3, especially if the games are going to look as good as Star Wars 1313. Like I said, you guys, search it here on YouTube. You see exactly what I'm talking about, why I'm so souped the hell up. But anyway, I'm about to cut this video short and hop back on this Wii U. I'm corny as hell, ain't I? But at the end of the day, and as I always say, bang, bang.